Renaissance, Rinascimento, to be born again. Even though MMORPGs are created with the intention of having a longer lifespan compared to most other genres, it is accepted that after the initial boom of population, there will be a decline in the player base, with expansions and major updates pumping the numbers up for a short period of time to then slowly go down again. Many of us thought that the peak of BDO was at its release and then again after server merge, and everything was just a slow downfall from there. But honestly, after playing the game for 5 years and after seeing the game struggle quite a bit during 2018 and 19, I think we might be approaching a third new age of Black Desert. I know some of you don't like me making these feel-good videos about BDO. I've already made a few in the past, but this time, guys, this time is different. Because now I'm a Pearl Abyss partner who signed an NDA and my opinion is even more biased than before. No, but seriously, I've been a BDO content creator for many years now and I've felt all the phases the game had in first person. Every time the game goes through a rough patch, I see people complaining and quitting daily, and when something good happens, I also get to see the excitement of the community. And I think now, like never before, I see so many new and veteran players coming back to the game. People that stopped playing in 2016 asking me stuff about the game. I see new faces on my stream every single day. There are new guilds popping out left and right, and so many new content creators are putting effort and love into the game, which is something that hasn't happened in a long time. Why is this happening and why now? Well, there are a few factors to take into consideration. First of all, we had a massive wave of players either coming back or discovering the game during the first lockdown of 2020. BDO is one of those games where you can sink your entire life and wallet in it and still don't have enough time to do everything you want to do. AKA, it's the best game to play during a pandemic. And a lot of people that quit during the early days and came back also realized that now the game actually improved in many ways. We always remember the past with rose-tinted glasses, but back in the early days, BDO was very unpolished and rough around the edges. Compared to before, now it's actually a lot better. But I think the biggest factor of all is the publisher transfer from Kakao to Pearl Abyss. It's impossible to really know what happened and who's at fault here. It felt like there was some kind of tension between Kakao and PA, with Pearl Abyss not wanting to extend their hand to help Kakao provide a better service, and Kakao as a result not really giving their 100%. Obviously these are just speculations, and we'll likely never know what happened, but ever since PA is self-publishing, it feels like the game is getting better almost every week. They are a lot more communicative and open with the community. We are getting cool tournaments and events, and it feels like our voices are finally being heard. Sure, things are imperfect, and I'm sure there's gonna be people actually triggered about me making these statements. But before you start losing your mind over a YouTube video dedicated to a video game, hear me out. What motivated me to do this video are the 2 recent Global Lab patches that pretty much addressed almost every single complaint and issue that the player base has with PvP. There's obviously some things that didn't sit right with some players, but the positive, in my opinion, outweighs the negatives. CC resistance sucks, so they're adding some decent CC penetration crystals, and while this isn't the perfect solution to the issue, it's still a step in the right direction. Slow stacking has been capped to 50%, it's still not a perfect fix, don't get me wrong, as anything above 30 is kinda unplayable already, but then again, the fact that they are starting to do something is big already. I think they're slowly trying to fix what the PvP community has been complaining about. And yes, I know these changes aren't good enough, but PA addressing this and slowly making changes means that they're open to do something. As a community, we should show them that we are passionate about the game, passionate about PvP, and help PA make the game better. I much prefer this approach of making small changes rather than massive game-breaking ones. And I also think they're taking the right approach with class balance. Keep in mind that I don't think BDO will ever be balanced, it's just not made for it. There's too many classes and the gear variance is too big, but almost every class that was left unloved received some decent buff, some more than others, but they're definitely trying to buff weaker classes. Succession Valk got some nerf, which hopefully are gonna help tune down the class a little bit, but most importantly, after months and months of complaining and crying, and a pretty overwhelming majority of the community all coming together to agree on one thing, Succession Wizard got nerfed. I am still fucking salty about this, because the way I see it, this came about 9 months too late, but we're finally getting this broken ass shit class nerfed. I legit couldn't believe it when I heard the news. I was staring at my screen in disbelief. Reading discords and talking to people was surreal. It truly felt like we won this fictional war and now everyone was out there in the street throwing their hats to the sky and kissing each other. Of course, the cynic in me thought that they only nerfed Succession Wizard. Now for the release of Sage, which has somewhat of a similar appeal, with the iframe in, nuke an entire village while fully protected, and iframe out. But before I could start to rant like a little bitch, the very next week PA came down with a nerf hammer and not only lowered the damage of the class but also removed the iframe while the skill is on cooldown, making it SA and more visible to other players. On top of these balance changes, they also added the bounty system, something people have been asking since day one, which I think is gonna bring a lot of content and a nice flavor to the game. And we have also the new node rest system coming out fairly soon, hopefully, and some other open world changes that I think will make Guild vs Guild very interesting. What I'm trying to say here is to look at the game with a glass half full mentality, and obviously on top of all these things, PA is actively trying to create some sort of competitive, I know that this word is weird when we're talking about BDO, but we're also getting tournaments with decent prizes that are getting massive interest from the community, and I think PA will see this interest and this passion that the community is giving back, and hopefully give us PvP players some more love. Recently, one of my favorite things was just sitting in Discord with my guildmates, just cheering each other up for the tournament and just watching the matches together, screaming and crying and laughing in Discord. It's been honestly a beautiful experience so far. What I'm trying to say here is to look at the game with a glass half full mentality. Black Desert has its issues, but we have a passionate community, passionate people working at Pearl Abyss, and the potential of years of fun ahead of us. So let's keep complaining and raising our voices on what sucks with the game, but also remember to enjoy the game and the people playing it. Because in a few years, when we're old and crusty and playing Half-Life 3, we probably won't remember much about the game, but we will cherish the memory of the people we met along the way. Kisses.